Good evening, guys. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be discussing the last exercise of this chapter 6, that is 6.4. Just give me a minute, I'm opening it. Okay. Shall we get started?
Yes.
Let's again. So if you observe, what is the name of this chapter, guys? It is applications of derivatives, right? So in the beginning of the chapter itself, I would have told you, why do we apply differentiation? So where do we apply differentiation? In mathematics, you apply differentiation to do what? To do what to a given function? Suppose I give you a function y is equal to x square, and I ask you dy by dx, you're saying this 2x, no. If I ask you what is dy by dx at x is equal to 5, where 5 is a point in its domain, then how much is it going to be?
10.
10, sir.
So what is the meaning of this 10? So what is the basic meaning of this 10?
At that point, the y value is 10.
Y value, correct? At that point, y value would have been 25.
Slope of
It is a slope of what? It is a slope of tangent.
tangent.
Yes, it is a slope of a tangent which you draw to the curve at that given point. Correct, Ada? So from the basics of straight line, we know the fact that slope is defined for whom? Can you define slope for a curve? No, you can't.
A line.
Slope is defined only for a straight line. Okay. So if somebody says what is the slope of the curve at a given point, the curve doesn't have a slope of its own. You draw a tangent at that point and the tangent has a slope. So that is the indirect question they're asking. Correct? That is the meaning of applications of derivatives. Then we saw another application also. Yesterday we discussed about that CAN and all those things. Right? You have a real life application as well, where you can take the concept of maxima and minima to solve certain real time problems also. Correct? Now, if I revisit the basic definition of differentiation from the first principle of derivatives, what do I understand? So dy by dx is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x the whole divided by h. Correct? So tell me one thing. You're saying this dy by dx is slope, right? Now I have an important question to ask. If I don't see f of x plus h is nothing but y2 minus y1 divided by h, I can write it as x plus h minus x. So where x plus h, I will call it as x2 minus x1. You would have seen this formula already, right? Where did you see this formula? Y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. It is the slope of a straight line if 2 points are given on the straight line, right? So if I don't have this, so when you wrote the slope of a line last year in your 10th, in your 11th standard, when you studied under the straight lines chapter, did you use the concept of limit anywhere? Where you asked to know, right? You just wrote it as y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. It's an accurate value. Whereas here also, if you observe, so y2 I can call it as f of x plus h minus y1 I will call it as f of x divided by x plus h minus x. So when we saw the first principle of derivatives, do you guys remember this came out as the slope of what? It was not the slope of tangent. It was slope of some other line. What was that line called as? If you guys, yes, perfect. So it was called the slope of a secant. But by decreasing the value, right? By decreasing the value of h approximately to 0, are you exactly making it as 0? No. by approximating it to 0, then what will happen is there will be a particular scenario where the secant will appear like a tangent to the curve. At that point, if you apply the limit and find the technical name given to this kind of an operation is what is dy by dx, or derivative of y with respect to x. So what I'm trying to say from this context is you're finding the slope, right? So it is not giving you the exact value, it is going to give you only an approximate value. But the approximate value that it gives will be almost close to the accurate value. Guys, are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? Are you able to understand the reason behind it?
Yes.
Right. So that is the reason why you're learning approximations also. Okay. So there is a reason for it. See, they would have given a lot of story and all that would be confusing. Let's not get into those details. I'm only going to teach you how to handle it. Okay. Now, let f be a function, okay, which is defined from a set D to R, where R stands for real number and D is a subset of the real number. We don't know what the D means. Okay. Be a given function and let y is equal to f of x. So y is a variable which is a function of x. Okay. Then if I take a point p x comma y, and I'm going to say there is a small increment. There is a small increment in whom? There is a small increment in the value of x, which is delta x. And I am approximating that this increment delta x that has taken place is approximately equal to dx. Okay. So when will we generally use d? When it is an infinitesimally small value. When the value of limit is tending to 0. Right. And generally we use delta when it is an average value. Correct, Ada? Right. So here we are approximating dx to delta x, and when there is a small increment in the value of x, will there not be a small increment in the value of y also? Right. That small increment in y, let us call it as delta y. Then what is the delta y going to be equal to? Now we will take the help of the graph. So what they have done is they will be drawing a tangent to this curve at which point? At the point p x comma y, such that there is an other point considered on the curve itself, so that you are able to draw a right angle triangle and find the slope of that particular curve. So if I take the coordinates of this point, let me use blue color. If I take the coordinates of this point, then the coordinate of that point will be x plus dx comma y plus dy. Okay. And if I take the coordinates of this point, it will be x plus delta x comma y plus delta y. Here the approximation is done in such a way that delta y by delta x is approximately going to be equal to dy by dx. Okay. And the change that we are going to do is dy by dx can be written as dy divided by dx multiplied with delta x. So this is the formula, the so-called formula for approximation. Okay. Wait. Dy is equal to dy by dx into delta x. So this is the approximation formula that is being used. So I will tell you in a reverse way. So dy is equal to dy. I divide it with dx and compensate it with dx. Instead of dx, I'm writing it as delta x. So this is the formula that we are going to use. Okay. So here the important point is you should know how to handle this in problems. Okay. See, if I ask you what is square root of 36.6, what will you say? If I ask you to guess it, it is 6 point something. How did you know it is 6 point something? It is because square root of 36 is 6. Right? Now, what we are going to do is, we are going to find the approximate value of it by using differentiation. Now, if you observe, square root of 36.6. So, we are finding the square root of 36.6, right? Let me call x as 36.6 and I will say y is equal to root x. Oh, sorry, wait. Let me say this function is of the form y is equal to root x, where I will take x to be the nearest square value that I know, that is 36, and delta x I will take it as 0.6. Did you guys understand?
Yes.
Right. Now, we will find the incremental value in the incremental value of y. So, if I take x is equal to 36, then delta x is taken as 0.6. Then what will be the value of delta y? One minute. So I have to explain something from here. See. One minute. Okay, let me explain the theory itself. See, there is a point px comma y at which there is a tangent drawn. Did you guys understand this?
Yes, sir.
Right. So I'm taking a point R here, and there is a point S here, and there is a point Q here. So there are 4 points taken. So from the point P x comma y, if I take R at a distance of delta x, okay, I'm taking R at a distance of delta x, then what will be the coordinates of R? What will be the coordinates of R?
Delta x comma delta y.
Is it not x plus delta x comma y? Guys, are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? You need to observe the graph carefully. Wait, let me take this diagram. Look. See, let's look at it in a projected view. Okay. Now tell me that. So P is x comma y, accepted. Then what are the coordinates of R? X plus delta x comma y. Why? Because this point, if I drop a perpendicular, how much is this distance? This distance is x and this distance is delta x. So this distance total will be x plus delta x, and this distance is y. So x plus delta x comma y. Understood?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Now, if I take this point S, then what is the slope of this tangent? Is it not dy by dx? Correct, Ada? So if I look at the right angle triangle SRP, SR and P, then if I take this as dy, this will be dx, where dy by dx is going to give me tan theta. See, if I extend this will be theta and this will be theta, correct? So what is tan theta? Dy by dx, correct, Ada? So where dy by dx is going to be slope of whom? Slope of the tangent. So can I say that this is dy and this is dx? Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, when there is an incremental value in the place of x by value of delta x, on the curve itself, what will be the incremental value in terms of y? That is going to be delta y, right? So where the coordinate of this point will be x plus delta x comma y plus delta y, right? Any doubt till this step? Clear?
No doubts.
So what are the
No
coordinates
doubts.
of what are the coordinates of point S? X plus dx comma y plus dy. Similarly, the coordinates of point Q will be x plus delta x comma y plus delta y. Okay, please make a note of all these points. Done? Done or not? Please write it down. Let me know once you're done. Guys, done?
1 minute.
Okay, write it down.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, having all these points in mind, let's read the statement and understand. The increment in y corresponding to the increment in x is denoted by delta y. Then how can you write delta y as in terms of f of x? Okay. How can you write delta y in terms of f of x is what is the question. Okay. Remember that y is equal to what? Y is equal to f of x. Correct, Ada? That is the function, no? So can I write this point as x comma f of x? Then can I write this point as x plus delta x comma f of x plus f of x plus delta x comma, sorry, f of x plus delta x plus delta y. Did you understand what I did there? So x plus delta x, but y is equal to function of the input variable x plus delta x plus delta y. Guys, it's a crucial step. Is that clear?
Sir, can you explain why it is f of x plus delta x?
Okay, see, um, let me take it like this. Y is equal to f of x. Okay. So if I take this one point as 1, can I write it as f of 1? Y is f of 1. If I take this
Yes,
point
sir.
as 3, can I write it as f of 3? In a similar way, what is the x coordinate here?
X plus delta x.
Now you understood?
Yes.
So that is why I wrote f of x plus delta x plus delta y. Because y will take that value, no?
Understood, sir.
Understood? Now, can I say the distance QR is nothing but delta y? Can I say that the distance QR is delta y, guys? This vertical distance,
Yes, sir.
right? So when QR is delta y, how much is this height from the ground? This is f of x. Then how much is this height from the ground? That is from the x-axis. It is f of x plus delta y. Correct? So can I write, if I take this point as QR as t, if I take this point as t, can I write QR as qt minus rt? Qt is this y coordinate. That is f of x plus delta x plus delta y minus f of x. Guys, I'm extremely sorry with one thing. It is only f of x plus delta x. I'm sorry. This y plus delta y is nothing but f of x plus delta x. If it is 3, it is going to be f of 3 only. No, if it is x plus delta x, it should be f of x plus delta x. That's it. There is no delta y. Sorry for that. Please correct it. Then this delta y will not be there here. Then this is what is delta y. Did you understand why delta y now is f of x plus delta x minus f of x? This is a very, very important step because this will be using in every problem. You should understand why it has come. If there is anything you want me to repeat, please tell me.
Could you show the diagram one second?
Sure.
T is the point directly below R, right, sir?
No. It is beside R. It is not below R. It is beside R.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So is this step clear? This is what I want to make a clear note of. F of x plus delta x, are you guys convinced with it? Right? So this is f of x plus delta x minus f of x. So wherever you see delta y, in the delta y, we'll write f of x plus delta x minus f of x. So that is why they directly wrote it like this. Okay, guys? Are you clear
Yes,
with
sir.
this? Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
remember this step. Okay, this is what we are going to use in problems. That at that time you should not think I just brought it randomly. There is a reason for it. We know that y is equal to f of x. Then can I write dy by dx is equal to f dash of x? Then dy is equal to, then can I write dy is equal to f dash of x into dx. But we know that f dash of x is already dy by dx into, in the place of dx, I will write it as delta x. That is the reason why this one is also used like a formula. So these are the two steps that are important for you to solve any problem based on approximation. If you're clear with these two things, I will tell you how to solve problems. Okay, you can solve the problems very fast. Don't worry about it. Shall I proceed with solving the problems?
Yes, sir.
Now see. Now have all these things in your hand. Then we'll look at this problem. So our work is to find the approximate value of root 36.6. So always consider the question as y and take it as root of x, where x should be the nearest square root or cube root of whatever it is. So here x will be 36 and delta x will be 0.6. Okay. Then we know the formula that delta y is how much?
F of x plus delta x minus f of x.
It is f of x plus delta x minus f of x. No. Right. So f of x plus delta x is how much? F of 36.6. Right. So delta y will be equal to square root of 36.6 minus, what is f of x, guys? X is 36. Now, if I put 36 here, how much will we get?
Root 36.
That is 6. No. So root 36.6 can be written as 6 plus delta y. Right. Now what we are going to do is, we will call this as equation number 1. And we know the formula for dy. What is dy? dy is equal to dy by dx into delta x. See, I want to make a small correction from the textbook. It's better you remember it like this. Make, instead of dy, remember it as delta y. Means delta y by delta x is approximately equal to dy by dx. So delta y is equal to dy by dx into root x. So what is the derivative of y with respect to x? It is 1 by 2 root x into delta x. So 1 by 2 root of, what is the value of x? It is 36 into, how much is the value of delta x, guys? 0.6. So it will be 1 by 12 into 0.6. How much is this? It will be 0.05. Means the value of delta y is 0.05. Take that and substitute it in 1. That will give you the answer as 6.05. So the approximate value of square root of 36.6 is 6.05.
So, sir, dy is taken as delta y, sir.
dy by I took it as delta y. So what I'm trying to say is, remember it like this: delta y by delta x is equal to dy by dx. Remember it like this, so that delta y will be equal to dy by dx into delta x.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Please make a note. I will tell you, I'll give you a system of how to solve every problem. Let me know once you're done. Done? Listen. So what is the next question? Using differential, find the approximate value of how much cube root of 25, no? Okay. So always you choose the number which is there inside the square root or cube root as x. Okay. So let y is equal to x power 1 by 3 and take that value of x to be close to the nearest cube root. So for the cube root of which number nearest to 25?
27.
For 27, if you take x as 27, what is the error that you have created in it with respect to the question?
-2.
-2. So from 27, I need to decrease 2 to get the question. So delta x is 2. Okay. And there is a formula. What is it? Delta y is equal to f of x plus delta x minus f of x. That is f of 25 minus f of 27. So f of 25 is the question itself, 25 power 1 by 3 minus. What is f of 27? If you put 27 in the place of x, it will be 3. This is delta y. So 25 power 1 by 3 will be equal to 3 plus delta y. Every problem you will get this. And you should call that as 1. Then what are we supposed to do? We will write delta y by delta x is equal to dy by dx, which implies delta y is equal to dy by dx into delta x. But what is dy by dx? Derivative of x power 1 by 3 is 1 by 3 into x power minus 2 by 3 into, what is the value of delta x, guys? Is it not minus 2? So what is that we need to substitute in the place of x? X should be 27, not 25, 27. X is 27. So 27 power 1 by 3, the whole power minus 2 into minus 2. 27 power 1 by 3. It's 3. Right. So 1 by 3 into 3 power minus 2 into minus 2. So 1 by 27 into minus 2. I'll call this as delta y. It is second. So what are we supposed to do? To find 25 power 1 by 3, take this value of delta y and substitute it in 1. So 25 power 1 by 3 will be equal to 3 minus 2 divided by 27. The 2 divided by 27, whatever is the value, you find it out, the decimal value of it. But did you guys understand how to solve the problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Shall we proceed to the next problem? See, you guys write square root of 25.3 and tell me 2 minutes time. So y is equal to square root of 25.3. Not y. So y should be taken as root x, where x should be how much? Nearest square root. So which is the nearest square to 25.3 that you know?
5.
25, and delta x is how much?
0 point.
0.3.
It is 0.3. Good. Now, delta y is equal to f of x plus delta x minus f of x. Okay. I'll make it even more simple. Okay. You need not follow the textbook procedure. Observe this. So delta y is equal to f of x plus delta x minus f of x. Correct, Ada? Similarly, delta y is equal to dy by dx into delta x. Correct? Yes or no? So there are two formulas for delta y. Since the left hand sides are equal, equate the right hand side. So you can write dy by dx into delta x is equal to f of x plus delta x minus f of x. So what is dy by dx? 1 by 2 root of x into delta x is equal to f of x plus delta x is root of 25.3 minus f of x is how much? 5. So 1 divided by 2 into 5 into 0.3 plus 5 is equal to square root of 25.3. That's it. Did you understand what I did? Did you understand what I did?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So for every problem which is based on square root, cube root, or fourth root, you can follow this kind of a procedure. Okay. So remaining problems you can try. These problems you guys can try it. Okay. Next, we'll do the next set of problem. Find the approximate value of f of 3.02 in the given function f of x is equal to 3x square plus 5x plus 3. So how to do? I hope you guys read the question. What are they asking? Find the approximate value of f of 3.02 if f of x is equal to how much? 3x square plus 5x plus 3. Okay. So what is the formula I told you? Dy by dx into delta x should be equal to f of x plus delta x minus f of x. Okay. Here, x is, what value of x will you take? So it is, since it is 3.02, break the integer part and the fractional part. So x will be 3, delta x will be 0.2. Guys, did you understand what I did?
Yes, sir.
So what is dy by dx? That is a derivative of this. 6x plus 5 into delta x is 0.2 is equal to, what is f of x plus delta x? That is f of 3.02 minus f of x, that is f of 3. F of 3 is easy for you to find out. Similarly, in the place of x, substitute 3 here. So 23 into 0.2 is equal to f of 3.02 minus, how much is f of 3, guys? 3 into 9 plus 15 plus 3. 27 plus 15, 42, 42 plus 3, 45. So f of 3.02 is equal to 45 plus 4.6, which is going to be 51.6.
49.6.
Oh, sorry. 40. Oh, wait. Did I make any mistake? So it is 49.6. But what is the answer they got? Oh, 3.02. No?
3.02, sir. Del X should be 0.02.
Oh, sorry. Then I'm sorry. It is 0.02 then. So 0.02 means then how much is going to be there? 23 plus 0.46.
45.0.46.
So, but I hope you guys understood how to solve this, right? That is more important.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, shall we try one more problem of similar type from the exercise? So, we'll try one more problem. Yeah, you can do the second one. Can you guys do it fast and tell me? Find the approximate value of f of 2.01, where f of x is equal to 4x square plus 5x plus 2.
I'm getting 28.21, sir.
28 point. Can you check the answer? So, how to do this problem? Dy by dx into delta x is equal to f of x plus delta x minus f of x. So what is the value of x? You will take 2 and delta x will be 0.01. So dy by dx is how much? 8x plus 5 into delta x is 0.01 is equal to f of x plus delta x is how much? That is f of 2.01 minus f of x is 4 into 4 plus 5 into 2 plus 2. So take this 2 and substitute it here. 16 plus 5. 21 into 0.01 is equal to f of 2.01 minus 16 plus 10. 26 plus 2. 28. So f of 2.01 is equal to 0.21 plus 28. How much you got? 28.21. Huh?
Yes, sir.
That's the answer. I hope you're connecting with the book answer as well, right? It's 28.21. Next. The last set of problem is statement problems. Find the approximate change in the volume of cube of side x meters caused by increasing the side by 2%. Find the approximate change in the volume of cube of side x meters caused by increasing the side by 2%. So volume of cube is given by the formula x cube, right? So delta V, can I write it? Delta V by delta x, can I write it as dV by dx, which implies delta V is equal to how much? dV by dx into delta x. Correct, Ada? So what is the derivative of V with respect to x? It is 3x square into delta x, right? So 3 into, what is the value of x? So that we need not find. So I can leave it as 3x square because x is introduced by us into, oh, they have given x, sorry. 3x square into delta x is how much? 2%, Lada. It be 0.02. I'm sorry, 0.02 times x. So it will be 0.06 x cube. So that is going to be the change in volume. Did you understand this problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. 25th. If the radius of a sphere is measured at 9 centimeter with an error of 0.03 centimeter, then find the approximate error in calculating its volume. So radius of the sphere is measured as 9 centimeter with an error of delta R is how much? 0.03 centimeter. Then find the approximate error in calculating its volume. So volume is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. So delta V will be equal to dV by dr into delta R. So delta V is equal to, what is dV by dr? 4 pi r square into delta R. So 4 pi into R is how much? 9, no? 9 square into delta R is 0.03. If you calculate this value, that will give you the approximate error in calculating the percentage. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So that is all with this exercise. So all these problems you guys can try. Okay, they are very simple. Trust me, you guys can do it on your own. These are all the only methods that are there with respect to approximation. One is finding the square root or cube root, fifth root, fourth root, whatever root you call it. Then the other one is finding the approximate value of the function for a given function. That is, you are going to find the approximate function value for a given function at a given point. Then the third one is calculating the errors in the volume, surface area, all those things. Okay. I hope you guys can do this, right? You can manage it.
Yes, sir.
Right. So yes. So with this, this chapter has come to an end. So keep practicing. I'll give an assignment also. The next few classes we'll discuss the remaining chapter from this volume, that is matrices and determinants. I think most of you have learned that, right? So anyways, we'll discuss some important tips and then we'll move on to the next volume, maybe by next week.
Okay, sir.
That's it, guys. Is there any other doubt from today's class?
No doubt, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you can wind up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.